Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's go.
Okay, so it's Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. Day 2 on the pod.
Yes, night 2 of WrestleMania. And I think everybody, well, judging by the Discord reactions, I think everyone's feeling the same way as us right now. Going, what was that? what?
Man.
Okay, I think we
Oh
need,
no.
okay.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh,
we all
no.
need to just let it out first. We just vent. Everybody in chat, hello, thanks for hanging out and thanks for being here and being on the Discord as well. Div Royalty, I see you. Zayden, what's up? Lysander, everybody, just let it out. Just let it out. Like, what did you feel about that ending to WrestleMania right now? Oh no, was it?
Yeah, we are trying to how to say get more opinions so that we come across as more measured. I mean, we have our immediate reactions to it, right?
Bro,
But I
yeah.
feel I want to hear everyone's opinions on this as well.
This is absolute immediate reactions, fresh off the main event. Referee Ryan, what's up? He says,
bro?
I love it. Bro, are you trying to be ironic? or did Bryson Blade cane you until you blur already?
Ayo. I mean, okay,
Fiend
but
slap to my face, Rishi says.
how about I offer this?
Okay.
Did we just I think we over fantasized what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Do you
I mean,
think did that?
we talked about it yesterday, we talked about it last week. There was no way they were going to live up to WrestleMania 40's portal scene, right? And
Yep.
in a lot of ways, you can kind of see this as like, there's a huge parallel with Marvel after Endgame, after the portal scene. Like, they kind of fell off a bit. So we're seeing that fall off. And I think, okay, to Zayden's point, I was thinking about it as well. Like, okay, fine. They've already, Papa H, WWE, they've already gained our trust in the past few years. It's okay for them to take a few steps back. If WrestleMania 42 or maybe SummerSlam or Royal Rumble or whatever, if the end goal is somewhere down the line and it's going to be good, right? This is just another step. And it might be a step back, but it is a step.
I do remember WrestleMania 39 when Roman retained the first time against Cody, right?
Yeah.
Everyone was questioning the ending. So there was a payoff there, right? My only concern, or maybe not my concern, like right off the bat, right? I knew how I could have improved this entire thing. If they just changed one thing, bro. If they just changed one thing, right? This would have been perfect.
You talk about the main event itself or the whole card?
No, the whole build to WrestleMania that would have led us to not have such high or unrealistic expectations.
Oh, okay. You hang on to that. We talk about the
hang on.
match. We talk about the vibe of the entire night first.
Okay, sure, let's go.
Am I the only one thinking that if they took night 1's main event and put it in night 2's main event instead, then it would have been perfect. The perfect
Well,
pay-per-view.
The best card. It would have been the best night 2 ever.
Because I'll say this, night 2, every single other match other than the main event delivered. Well, okay,
more or
not
less
More or less.
fulfilled what our expectations were.
Yeah, like 80% of night 2 delivered in a big way.
Yeah. 80% of the other matches delivered.
Yes.
Because this main event was another, I would say I'll grade it on another curve, bro.
Yeah.
But again, I think the ending soured it for me at least. But
Okay.
the match itself I thought was great. Like up until the ending, like the build up
Really?
to the match. Yeah, I did
Okay.
enjoy the match. Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I think Cena suffers from the problem of we haven't seen him in such a long time, and the industry has moved on. The work rate has improved, and it's like, you know, when the same thing happens over and over again every time an old timer, a legend comes in, and if you've never seen this legend before, and you go, "Hey, this fella like quite suck, leh," because you're not seeing them at their prime, right? And as with everything in the world, the industry moves on. So everybody has much better work rate. Like, say what you want about Roman overacting and acting more than he wrestles. Roman is a very solid wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Cody's a great wrestler. I mean, nobody has ever said Cody cannot wrestle.
Yeah, no,
You know,
exactly.
Cody can wrestle, yeah.
And I mean, they even made a meal of that, the whole you can't wrestle thing, and it.
There is legs to it, is it?
Yeah, at this point, and I think they're going to ride with it. To be honest, I think it is part of the story that I didn't think this was a very well wrestled match on Cena's part. As in, he looked stiff. He looked like his cells were just very not really there.
Yeah, I mean, you watch John Cena during his PG era, right? Even though you weren't 100% in, but you were aware of his matches, have seen his matches during the era. Okay, the thing about John Cena is he has. I remember Jim Ross always say that he is unorthodox. His style is unorthodox. He also say that, right? I agree. I remember there was this one movie he acted it. I think it was called Legendary. And in the movie, he played a wrestling coach, and no one and their mother believe it. They were like, "Nah, you can pick Kurt Angle, you can pick anyone in the world, but why the fuck is this guy who can't even wrestle become a wrestling coach?" Right?
Also, bro, he's not that good an actor to be able to pull that off.
Yeah. So what the point I'm trying to make is he was never. Everyone accepted that he. It's not that he can wrestle, but he was never the smoothest guy in the ring. Every time he's like a battering ram, the way he wrestles. He just like bulldoze his way to his moves.
Again, they tried to make that his whole character, that he's different, right? He's an unorthodox, like JR used to say. But yeah, I didn't enjoy this match as a match itself. I thought, and the crowd didn't help. The crowd was not behind Cody. It was like a very 60-40 almost. And it kind of sucks because, I don't know if you saw SmackDown, right?
Yeah.
They did the whole in-ring promo battle. The crowd was super behind Cena. Cody, he got booed first, but he managed to fire up and actually win the crowd over. So that is kudos to Cody, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But in this case, there was no winning back the crowd. The crowd was behind John Cena.
I think the crowd has decided that they wanted Cena to win to get his 17th, and no matter what the perception is of Cody Rhodes, whether you guys are fans or not. Like, they accepted that they want Cody to drop the belt.
By the way, I saw this. This thought immediately came to my mind, right? They're totally gonna, if Cody stays with WWE for the long run, and I'm pretty sure he will, he's a company guy, right? This is gonna be the justification for the eventual Cody Homelander run. You know it.
I think so too. Because the one thing that I thought was done right in this match, right, was they planted the seeds of him having this crisis or conflict about whether to embrace the dark side.
Yes.
And he chose the light. And that cost him the match.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So yes, I like the storytelling here, but I did not like the wrestling here. Like I said, I think that there are so many better work rate guys. And look, at the end of the day, like, this might sound hypocritical coming from me because, I'm always all about the story, right? But I also want to see some work rate. You know what I mean?
That's why the night one main event I thought was amazing, right? Clearly there was the very clear story distinction there.
And
but
work rate,
but all three had great. It was a great match. Like all the finishes and all the sequences, everything was great, right? And they were crisp and fast. Like I didn't think CM Punk was lagging behind in any way.
Oh no.
Yeah, he was on the ball there. So again, Cena has not wrestled in over a year.
Yep.
He has been rusty. Even the times that he was wrestled, he wasn't a great match.
Yep.
So we know coming into this, actually I was a bit worried because Cena. Cena has a great main event spot and a name value, but when the bell rings, could Cody carry him to a good match?
I think the answer is no. Now, you did mention that you had an idea that could have saved this build up to this main event, and we will touch on that in just a few moments. But, it is a brand new season of Kick to the Gut. Actually, not brand new, we already had 13 episodes in. But, what better time to make a return? We were hoping for big returns in WrestleMania. WWE did not deliver, but we here at Kick to the Gut deliver with the returns. You like that segue right there? Boom.
I love it.
Hasif is back as a sponsor for the podcast.
Bro, the prodigal son has returned. I know WWE has disappointed us, but we came through. We have a face from the past, a supporter of the podcast from the last season 7, and he told us, hey, you know what? WrestleMania is coming. I think it's the best time to make my return. I think, hey, bro, if nothing else, this WrestleMania weekend is a night of returns and unexpected appearances.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, please support him on his page. Follow him. You know what he does.
Bro.
Yeah.
I want to call, Mick Foley, they're talking about the whole Cactus Jack collection thing, right? Mick Foley,
Yeah.
three faces of Foley. I want to talk about the three faces of Hasif right now.
Let's
My
go.
man's a financial advisor. You want to talk about, that kind of stuff to him? You can, right? He's a fitness bro, right? He's got it's like Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love. Yeah, so we got fitness bro, we got finance bro, we got F&B bro.
Bro, yes. And the best thing about what he does, and he really believes in supporting communities, like interest groups. And I mean, he's fascinated by how tight knit our community is. I mean, he takes a look at a wrestling event every time. I think he was there for SPW. Has not seen a Grapple Max show yet. Maybe I can try to call. No, he's overseas. He's what? But never mind. I'll convince him to go for the next show for Grapple Max. And he wants to really see our community strive, and that's why he's putting where the money where his mouth is. And we are very grateful for his support, keeping the lights on, letting us talk about wrestling every single week with you guys.
Guys, drop him a follow on Instagram. He support us. You guys, let's support him. Hasif_captures. This is his Instagram page, and you see this forms link. You can actually fill in the form and have a free lunch with him. Got such thing as a free lunch? Yes, with Hasif.
For sure,
and it's absolute. Just get to know you, sort of a lunch.
Yeah. If anything else, if you guys enjoyed our content, enjoy what we do, please send him a thank you, because he's the one that is helping us put this out every single week as well.
Absolutely. Okay, let's come back to this main event of Night 2, WrestleMania. What could have made this build up better? Because, like we said last week and yesterday, right? It really just feels like this entire story hinges on one thing, and that's John Cena turning to the dark side. It feels like that's the only concept or theme or idea that's supporting this whole goddamn thing.
Yeah. Bro, we know what it is, bro. We know the way to temper our expectations, to make the story focus purely on Cena and Cody. It's not even involve The Rock in the first place, right? Right? Okay, if everything went down the same way, right? If everything went... Okay, and of course, The Rock had to kacau a bit. And remember that time he just returned out of nowhere and suddenly talk about selling his soul?
Yeah.
Okay, I know that was great at that point in time. It created a lot of intrigue, a lot of buzz, right? But knowing what we knew, and probably WWE knew that The Rock's schedule would not have allowed him to be at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
Fuck, don't even have him appear in this road to WrestleMania. Like, fuck, just disappear lah, bro.
Do you think that Rock is, at this point, he's become that guy who's like, okay, I know that my appearance brings eyeballs and brings, buzz, and therefore I must involve myself. Even though, like you said, right, this entire angle could have played out without him.
Yeah, it should have played out without him, knowing what we know now. Like, imagine, take ourselves back to Elimination Chamber, right?
Yep.
Cena won the Elimination Chamber. Cody comes out to congratulate John Cena. Everyone's celebrating, like, oh my god, first time a matchup between these two guys. Battle of the Generations. They're celebrating in the middle of the ring. Turn around, next thing you know, low blow. That in itself would have exploded the internet.
Yes.
It would have, because just the whole idea of John Cena finally turning heel.
Yeah, but that was the entire idea. And, they can justify it by saying, oh, The Rock was the catalyst. Stop. So there is no other involvement from The Rock, and now we see it. Remember, we gave them the benefit of the doubt that, okay, maybe Rock is cooking up a whole faction with 2, 3, 4 more people. But the more we look at it, the more it's like, no, he just came in for that one shot. He just thought that his star was so bright that everyone would... And, there's an argument to be made that, yes, his star is that bright, that he will get eyeballs. You can't deny that. But
if you want to launch the storyline, right? I mean, using his name to launch the story, that is fine. But he should have made it very, very clear. Okay, he should have, like, when he was leaving Elimination Chamber, he kind of taps Cena and then maybe whispers to him and the camera catches it.
Yeah,
it's your time now. Yep. Run it. You know what I mean? So everyone knows that there's a breakaway there.
Yeah.
Like, he's the kingdom guy. So I don't know. The execution was a bit off lah.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? And talking about WrestleManias don't always have to be the end of a story. This main event ending is very much the start of this John Cena hell reign, as it were, right? So I'm okay with that. But what I'm kind of not okay with is the fact that I alluded to this earlier yesterday on the podcast. After the finish of Night 1's main event, you have 2 main events back-to-back on WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. They are both, quote-unquote, not finishes, as in not wrapping up a story. They are all to be continued. And I did not like that. It gives me, and I think that's why we all feel very deflated after watching WrestleMania. It's like, usually WrestleMania ends and it's a celebration. Oh my God, yeah, let's freaking go. Woo! The main story, both main stories are all to be continued. And I think that feels a bit meh.
Bro, crazy hot take. Knowing what we know now, Jey Uso should have been the main event of WrestleMania.
No. But
you know what I mean? You know, because
Yeah,
that was the only story that was kind of like given some catharsis, right?
yeah, but it would have been a shit match.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
But you know what I mean? Like, okay, so you want to compare Jey Uso and Gunther versus John Cena and Cody. I would still pick John Cena and Cody as the main event because it's two huge names. Don't say we all love Gunther. Some of us love Jey. Most of us love Jey. But we know they are not that level. There are levels to this game, right?
Yeah, I get it. No, but that's the thing. I agree with you. I think there is a... What's the word for it? Like an unsatisfactory finish, right? Because, okay, if you think about it, WrestleMania 39, night 2 with Roman and Cody, they had the Cody losing, right? That was like the people were annoyed and then like blah, blah, blah. But the night 1, wasn't that the Charlotte and Rhea? Was it? No, did that?
No.
No, sorry. It was the tag team main event.
Yes, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos. And was it Usos?
Yeah, and the Usos, it was them winning the titles from Usos breaking their long reign.
Yeah, so you have your satisfactory ending there, at least, right? This year, none. It's both negative. I think that's why there's a real bitter taste in everybody's mouth. And also,
agree.
And this is an entire, like, macro look at WrestleMania. Like is this low blow mania? For crying out loud, there are other ways to stab people in the back. My God. Okay, yesterday, even though I was dead tired, right?
Yeah.
By the way, if you weren't here yesterday, I mentioned that my doggo Sophie kena diarrhea. So I was up. I did not get any sleep. Every 20 minutes, I had to go and wash her backside, right? You know what is worse than having one dog with diarrhea?
Having 2 dogs? What? Chelsea also kena?
No, not Chelsea. Chelsea's strong, yeah. She's the oldest, but her stomach powers, yeah. I don't know what it was. I'm thinking it's a certain powder like that we give them, like, you know, like supplements, right? Belle is staying with us this week, right?
Oh, Belle is whose doggo? I don't have.
It's my sister-in-law's dog. But
okay.
Dog sitting. She got weak stomach one. But she also outside. Yesterday, I brought Sophie to the vet already, got the medicine and everything, and her stool, apologies if anybody's having lunch right now, but her stool was starting to get less wet. So I was like, okay. Light at the end of the tunnel, right? She's starting to get better. Then I look down my stairs where all their pee trays are, and then I see puddles of coffee on the floor. I'm like, and then Belle is just like, you know, with that, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck?
She also kena. Oh, dear.
Oh my God. So, anyway, I don't know. That was, pardon the tangent, as it were, right? So, the two poor doggos, I've been crazy busy this entire weekend. Cleaning shit up, literally. But, despite all that, I still got to watch Stand and Deliver.
Ah, nice.
And I don't know if you saw Stand and Deliver. There was also a low blow backstab, heel turn.
Oh, no, okay. Full transparency, I still have not watched Stand and Deliver.
Well, do you want me to tell you? Who?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you did. I think by now most people would know, so I think you just let it know on the podcast.
Yeah, Stax. Lorenzo Stax turned on the Dawn.
The family is over.
The family. Yeah, finally, they'd been teasing. But when they were doing it, I was like, okay, I kind of knew he was going to like turn already. But we didn't know how much. Is he just going to close time him? He's going to punch him in the face, whatever. No, he also low blow. I'm like, hey, y'all overused the low blow already. Paul Heyman got 2, Stax got 1, and then John Cena got 1. I'm like, alamak, hey, y'all, relax lah.
So, you know, like how Teddy Long he loves to do his tag team matches.
Yeah,
maybe Triple H got a thing for doing low blows, bro, to end games and to, you know, start storylines. You never know. I feel like,
oh my God, Div, you didn't watch it. You didn't watch it. I spoiled it for Div.
Oh my god! No.
Here's
Sorry,
a hot
Dave.
take. Here's a hot take, guys. I highly recommend Stand and Deliver. Stand and Deliver was more exciting than Night 2.
Really?
Hot take.
Hot take. Okay, guys,
Yeah.
watch that. Wait. Doc say I'm eating lunch, bro.
Sorry, I'm eating breakfast.
Bro, Zayden said the dogs predicted the 2 nights. It's gonna be shit. Love it. Okay. Actually, one Laosai need to separate. They spread very easily over food, water, etc. I love how you guys are giving doggo advice. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
man. I appreciate that.
Okay, I got a question here, right? Do you think this WrestleMania has been snake bit? Think about it,
Snake
bro.
bit.
Snake bit means like
I know what
unlucky
it
lah.
means lah.
Unlucky.
Like,
Yeah.
sway lah,
No, okay, why sway? Because if you think about it, we got 3 matches that have to be changed because of injuries, last minute replacement, whatever nonsense.
Was
right?
the Bailey injury a shoot or a work though?
I feel it's a shoot, or I don't know. Okay, you guys tell me, right? Those people on the chat, was there? I know there was an angle of her getting beaten up on SmackDown, but was it to replace her last minute because she was carrying an injury, or was it for storyline purposes? Because I didn't hate, and you know what? Right now on the post show, there she is. Becky Lynch is on the post show talking right now
With her daughter, yeah, very
yeah,
cute.
her daughter. I do not. Damn, she's hot. Okay, anyway, I did not hate. I'm not talking about the daughter. I'm talking about Becky Lynch.
Obviously.
Yeah. What I didn't hate the Becky being a replacement because actually they are. You know, they have history, right? Both of them. She's the mentor of Lyra, so that's great, right? But the point is, right? They had 3 matches that they were building up to that had actual proper storylines. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, right? El Grande Mexicano or Americano with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And then this, even though Lyra and Bailey was thrown together in a way as a tag team, but they were building up some sort of match there.
And I know this is not injury, but I want to count it. The Rock inserting himself into the main event picture is also an injury.
Yeah. But given the circumstance, I thought they landed quite well for those last minute matches that kind of shifted around. But I just felt like that contributed to the chaos, So do you think because of all this, trying to figure out all these finishers or new opponents, there was less, like the eyes weren't on the ball as much as they should have been, right?
Maybe. Yeah. I think here's the thing. I think a lot of the matches, if you just watch them and the builds out of context, I think they were all solid. I think the main event kind of deflated everybody, to be honest. Yeah. The main event, unfortunately, that's what it is, right? We don't just watch one match by one match in a vacuum, Tony Khan. We watch the whole build as an entire product. And a lot of the build was on the 2 main events. One delivered, one kind of didn't, but both led to unsatisfactory to be continued endings. And that's why WrestleMania feels like a deflation. Now, the argument could be made that, WrestleMania doesn't always have to be a conclusion, Yeah,
but you can continue the storyline. Yeah.
But if both major storylines are like that, then I disagree. I think at least one needs to have some kind of good conclusion so that we can, have something to cheer about lah. It is the quote unquote end of the season, even though there's no such thing as a season. Does that make sense?
It does. I remember this very interesting quote from Vince McMahon because, with all his flaws, he does have some insight on booking, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, what happened during the show. It really matters how it ends because that's the last thing that your audience will feel going out of the arena, right?
Correct.
Even if, say, you wanted to end with a heel winning, right? It has to be so talked about that people will be like, oh shit, this thing happened, man. I can't believe it. But oh my God, I can't wait for, the possibility. When John Cena won, they were like, oh, okay, he's the winner. Okay, yay. Then he was like chilling around the stage, walking around, talking to Travis Scott. Then I'm like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, there was no. It was underwhelming.
No jaw dropping, like, oh shit, like.
There's
even
okay. How about this? What if that all happened? Then they continue to bloody up. No blood. There was no blood at all, by the way. We were speculating, the turnbuckle shot, the belt shot. At least Cody will get some color, right? No, there was no color at all. So I don't know, man.
I don't know because.
I wonder if they are just gonna justify this by saying they are working us, as in we are the diehard fans and we don't like it, and that's the whole point. John Cena is throwing this whole wrestling business at a finger and throwing it in our face and pissing us off in a very meta way. But I will counter, and this is my same counter for AEW booking. Your casuals don't know that. Your casuals won't feel it. They'll just go, oh, this is kind of lame, and never come back.
Exactly. And this is on Netflix. This is the first WrestleMania on Netflix.
Yeah.
You actually really needed to do a big angle.
Yeah.
And
It-
again,
yeah.
what
It
pissed me
feels
off,
like they've booked for the marks, the IWC, and I don't like that at all.
which
Sorry,
I
go
don't
ahead.
which I don't think Triple H would have done that, because Triple H thought he also always booked for the masses, right? What I was trying to say was that, like, for me, right, the thing that pissed me off wasn't the Cena winning, right? Cena probably had to win.
Yep.
It was how weakly Cody Rhodes surrendered the title. Like
Yep.
not that he didn't put up a fight. Of course, he took the belt shot, right?
Yep.
But I thought it would have taken more to take this belt off of Cody, given how much he blood, sweat, and tears, sacrificed to get the belt, right? I thought he would be like holding on to his last legs, dying, hanging by a thread, still kicking out, still surviving, and eventually maybe like pass out to STFU. You know what I mean? Or like
Right.
just something that would have people will be like, oh, he really fought his heart out, but he lost.
Rishi brings up a point. I thought they booked for the masses with the Travis Scott interference. I disagree. I disagree. Like, I know there's a huge portion of I know who Travis Scott is, obviously, because I'm in quote unquote I'm in the music industry, lah. But
Yep.
I think a lot of like your average Americans don't know who Travis Scott is. You know, I can tell. I think like you know the type I'm talking about. Like, who's this guy?
I know, bro. I know.
Right. But yeah, that aside, and Travis Scott, I think the only people he pissed off were the IWC.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know.
Yeah. And yes, Travis appeared, right? But when Travis appeared and teased all that, and like Cody like destroyed him, which I love, I thought that was the pre-show. That was a bit of the
Yes.
the appetizer
So
to herald
the
the
rest.
real.
So have we been spoiled? Because you look back at previous WrestleManias, it wasn't always the portal scene, right? The portal scene ruined everything for us. Now we expect more. Also, the past few years, and I blame Cody and Roman for this, the kick-out fest that you would need like 5 finishers at WrestleMania just to beat your opponent,
Oh, and one more thing as well, bro. We got Stone Cold.
But reading
But-
numbers.
But not exactly the Stone Cold that we thought we were gonna get, and at that position.
I mean, okay, to be fair, I don't think he can do a stunner anymore. That shit is terrible on your hips, right? And he probably doesn't want to do that. And I think it wouldn't have fit the story they were trying to tell. Look, I think a lot of the problem here is that this was the early part of a story in 2 nights of the same thing.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
As
I
in-
get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so weird seeing Stone Cold appear and just read off numbers, bro. Like some sort of like fucking MC, bro.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
I understand it though. Like, I understand it, but it doesn't change the fact that it left us deflated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The only thing that he probably got a rise out of was almost crashing into that woman. Or did he crash into that woman? I think he did because someone fell over, right?
Yeah, he crashed in the barricade and then somebody fell over. Like, oh my god, hey bro, you don't know how to drive the thing already, yeah.
Yeah, too old already. No, but I think Triple H also did it on purpose because he was like, okay, we do not want people to expect Stone Cold to come out in the main event. Let's get him out early so people still get to see him, do his wave, and that's it.
Yeah, but again, just back to the match itself, right? Like, I don't know if we expected too much about the 2 wrestlers, but I really felt that John Cena can't keep up in 2025 lah.
And that's why he has to retire. So it makes sense. Like,
Yes,
this is
yeah.
his retirement year.
But that's why the match felt like it kind of was like blur. You know what I mean? It wasn't that great. And his expressions, the no selling. Again, I feel like at some point they're going to justify that by saying, see, we pissed you all off, didn't we? So it feels like booking for the IWC, which
Bro.
I've never liked.
Crazy hot take. Hulk Hogan at Cena's age gave a better match to The Rock.
Ooh!
Think about it,
Mm.
I know this is crazy to like, compute, but Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania 18, Hulk Hogan was 48 years old
Yep.
at that point in time.
Yep.
John Cena right now, I believe, because he's born 1977, he is 48 this year. He should be 48 this year.
Okay.
So technically, they are essentially the same age as when they were, when they are having their match now and compared to then. I do not know whether it was a lot of The Rock, but actually, like Hulk Hogan came across looking really, really good in that match, and he kept up with The Rock, right? I know it was just punches and kicks, and it was just the audience.
The crowd was more involved.
Was more involved for sure.
Yeah.
The crowd was really going for,
And
Hogan.
also, they leaned into the double turn, right? Here, they did not lean into any turn. Cena stayed a heel, Cody stayed a face, even though the crowd was booing Cody and cheering Cena.
And again, there's also a part of me which I understand where Triple H is coming from. Like the crowd is fickle, right? Like the crowd will suddenly now want Cena because all this while they hate him, and then now he become heel. Suddenly he's cool.
Yep.
But there is also in the expense of the storyline they're trying to tell, right?
Okay, so the whole narrative of them going on, and you can tell, they were pushing this narrative very hard, the commentary team, right? They're like, oh, the old Cena would have never resorted to this. They would have never done that, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Did it make you feel that? Because, I don't know, to me, maybe I'm trying to ask you this because I feel like maybe we are so involved and we are quote-unquote the IWC jaded about it. It's like he used belt to cheat only, no big deal, right? But maybe it is the big deal to the kids who grew up watching him and seeing him as this paragon of virtue. You know what I mean?
You know what was the shocking thing?
What?
When Cena suddenly oh no.
Oh, begging off.
Begging. Yes,
Okay,
that is not in character.
Yeah, Cena begging off was like a wow moment for me. I agree with you. But him cheating and using the belt, for some reason, I didn't feel like it was out of pocket.
Nah.
Because we've seen it before as a heel. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of John Cena, my guy is right now live on the post show right now, just entering.
Oh my god.
And giving his talk.
Just do a mic drop. He just threw something away. What was that?
No, he took out the what do you call it?
Side plates.
The side plates from the ring. Okay, I'm just gonna increase my volume a bit just to hear it on the background.
Yeah, he's just gonna sit down, say a few words, and then F off like last time. I'm sure. Is he really gonna give a full?
I don't know. I know you guys are on the stream, but if you guys are also watching it, let us know. What he's talking about. Yeah, anyway, he's just talking. Probably.
Yeah, I think him just standing there looking morose and then turning his back to the hard cam, I think that's symbolic, right? Together with Travis Scott to wrap up the show.
Wait, there is somebody on the chat that I want to ask this question to. Haley Hidayah. Hales, it's nice to hear from you. I remember growing up with you because she was from my secondary school. She was my senior. Yeah, we were in concert band together. And I remember she was the biggest John Cena fan, like the kind where we'll paste the photo, put inside the book, the file, go to school.
You're outing her now, huh? Okay, cool.
No, but I want to ask a serious question. Like, how do you feel about the heel turn so far? Because she would be the perfect person to ask, having been a long time wrestling fan or John Cena fan, to see him being out of character. I think she would be the perfect. So I'll pose that question to you. And also, Alfred, great point. Backlash, Randy versus Cena.
Yeah,
Is it think that's where we're going to?
We brought it up last podcast, but absolutely. I think he's going to revisit all his classic feuds. I think he has to be honest, because he cannot start a new feud and out-wrestle some of the younger guys. So you need to rely on nostalgia for this to work. So I expect fully for him to go up against Randy, CM Punk, all the people, the classics lah, basically.
Another crazy thought. What if, right? Okay, because Backlash is only in 2 weeks. So it would have made sense for Cody to have challenged for the title immediately as a rematch, right?
Yeah.
But what if in his reign of terror that John Cena is going to be doing, he actually takes out Cody Rhodes, injures him or beats him up. And then because he gets taken out of the picture, that's why Randy steps up.
Oh, bro, no need. He can do one very simple thing, bro. Give you even more heel heat. By orders of the final boss, you do not have a rematch. As simple as that. Just cold. Not even have to beat him up. So chibai, you know what I mean?
And then John Cena says, "You get at the back of the line."
Yep. And then you start
Damn.
building Cody up. He has to fight and scratch. Meanwhile, John Cena will then go up against all these other like figures from his past lah.
And then the final match that John Cena does in his retirement match will be losing the title back to Cody. Do you think that's what's gonna happen?
Okay.
Do you think you want him to hold all the way at the end of the year?
I don't mind. But so the question is, who does he make, right? I feel like, here's the thing. I feel like Cody's already a made man. He was already made by Roman at WrestleMania 40, right?
Yeah.
Do we really need to give Cody that push again, one more time to
Just to
dethrone?
solidify.
Like I don't think so. Who else? So then the question I asked, right? Then
Who else?
Who would
Yeah.
be the one who dethrones John Cena? Because that would be a big deal. That would be a major push for somebody who needs it. Cody, I feel, doesn't need it already.
But that's the problem, right? Like, I feel like John Cena as the heel is like the Undertaker streak, right?
Yeah.
You want to give it to someone who's deserving of it, who can benefit from it. But what did they do?
Bro,
They give it to,
Bro,
they give it to Brock Lesnar.
what if Brock Lesnar comes back?
And then beats up John Cena again.
CM Punk, I don't want, like, as much as I would love to see CM Punk as champion and get his flowers, I don't think he should. He doesn't need it.
Yeah.
He's already a superstar, right? Give it to somebody at that upper main event. No, not upper main, sorry, mid main event.
I was just about to say, what if this is a catalyst to bring up someone who has been underappreciated, who's been killing it on the mid card, right? A Braun Breaker.
Too early.
Too early to
No.
take out John Cena. Okay,
No.
another one. Maybe he's a bit older. I think he's way older. LA Knight.
No, cannot. No,
Not
he
a
doesn't need
perfect
it.
one. Okay.
I tell you, someone in chat said it already.
Ooh.
Who do you think? Yeah,
Gunther.
like he is there already. He's
But
at
bad
the
guy
main-
versus bad guy?
Gunther had to turn face, and he think about it. Who
Wow.
says the mat is sacred? Who is the work rate guy? Who is the guy who treats wrestling like religion versus the guy who doesn't treat wrestling like shit? You know, there is a story to be told there.
There is a story there. Okay, Gunther will definitely be respected. Everyone will cheer for him. Like,
Yes.
beating Cena.
Yeah.
But I don't think he will turn babyface. I think he will be like a heel who is like he has to I think more of an anti-hero.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. People
Yep,
will
yep.
cheer him because of what he's doing, but not necessarily like him because he's a good guy or a bad guy. Yeah, I see that.
Okay. Dofu Fam said Cena essentially just tune in to watch Raw. So I guess good promotion, I guess.
Well, there you go.
okay, wait. Haley Hales replied with my question. I honestly don't mind him turning heel, I guess, but I wish it was more kind of like how The Rock turned Hollywood heel.
Yeah.
What do you? I mean, you can expand on that. Feel free to expand. But I guess my interpretation of what she meant was he still retained like he became like he talked more about his Hollywood tendencies and became more of an entertaining heel. Is that what you're trying to say? I
Yes,
guess?
so I think I know where Haley is coming from here, and maybe this is a hot take, but John Cena doing this "I hate you" thing is not very interesting.
Yeah.
It's just the moment of the idea of him turning heel was interesting, but him actually as a heel now is kind of petering off in terms of its legs. I feel
It's not the heel that we wanted. Okay, I know that means that we are just very spoiled brats, first world problems.
sure.
He turned heel, but not the heel that we want. He should have stayed that heel that he was at the initial turn, which was the Winter Soldier heel, bro.
yeah.
He just need to be this soulless guy who does all this shit.
Cena said, "Tune in to Raw and watch how I ruin wrestling." So so he's running on this "I want to ruin wrestling" narrative, right? So I mean, Gunther, bro. Okay. We clip this part, right? And then in a couple of months near the end of the year, when John Cena is like, rounding out his career, we see if Gunther is the one who steps up. Because I feel like he needs to be that guy. He already proved himself so much. He just dropped the World Heavyweight Championship. He's free to do this.
Gunther switching over to the WWE Championship and like challenging for Cena.
And-
That would be really cool.
and doing it for wrestling, which fits perfectly with his character.
I like it. And clip this. This
Book
is
it.
Young's hot take. Yeah, great. So okay, right now live, Triple H is talking. And I know you guys are on the pod. We're also having our discussions here. But if you guys see anything or hear anything interesting from Triple H, if him trying to justify that shitty ending, let us know. Let us know on the chat so we can react to it. So who says Rusev to come back on Raw and face Cena again?
And lose probably.
Rusev Machka. Rusev
Like,
Sutria.
look, Cena is probably not going to wrestle that much. I'll be real honest with you. Like, that's his whole point, right? He's going to ruin wrestling. He's just not going to show. He's going to be on that part-time schedule, do things via satellite just to piss the fan base off. That's the whole point.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I agree. I think that's the whole point. Him not wrestling is the heel heat that we'll be getting.
Exactly. And
Him leaving with the title and not appearing.
so, okay, but then that also begs another question, right? Seth Rollins, now together with Paul Heyman. And Seth's whole thing was, I've been here all this time. Like, how can his character, actually be okay with John Cena ruining wrestling? So do we see in the future some sort of collision between Seth and Cena, even though they're both heel?
Ooh. That's the thing. When Seth, aligned with Paul Heyman, right?
Yeah.
And we know Paul Heyman has an alliance with The Rock, has the history, the bloodline. I thought it was going to be the formation of Authority 2.0, right? Like with they can create a faction of haters. We were just talking about it yesterday's episode.
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins, align with Paul Heyman, maybe with the loose affiliation with The Rock, and maybe John Cena. Then it's like this mega heel group.
Yeah.
It would be cool. It would be really, really cool.
The Authority 2.0.
So while Cena is like this heel champion that is never around, like I guess the Seth Rollins can be the de facto, the one that is always around, boss heel lah.
Right.
You know what
But
I mean?
wouldn't it be hypocritical though? But then again, I guess that's what heels are. They're hypocrites, right? Because he was the one complaining Roman Reigns was never around as champion. So why would he align himself with somebody like that? You know what I mean?
And
I guess,
yeah.
again, it's akan datang. Watch Raw, watch SmackDown. Everything is watch next week. That's the whole point, right?
And we also said that, the only way that the justification for this can work is like they are able to explain it well on the next show. Because like as of now, it's like, what the fuck? Why? Like, tell me why. Explain to me why.
I hope that they do this storyline justice, because we've talked about it before. We've talked about this type of thing, this type of concept, as it relates to AEW booking, right?
Yeah. Agreed.
Fine, you can give me something that doesn't really make sense or is kind of a letdown, but make sure it makes sense. But if you do it constantly with booking that doesn't make sense or is a letdown, then you lose viewers. And I'm confident in Triple H that he's not going to go down this road, but we'll have to wait and see. So it is what it is.
I mean, if nothing else, it gets the wrestling world talking.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to everyone here. I think this is the most amount of live chat, simultaneous people
It's
on the chat.
WrestleMania weekend, baby. Let's
Thanks,
go.
guys. Let's go. Give your thumbs up. Give your ones in the air. Thanks, all of you. I think there was 21 the last time I checked. It went down, but
Sure.
appreciate it. So do you want to move on from Cena and Rock? Because I feel there's so much we can still talk about John Cena and Cody Rhodes. But maybe we can put a bow on some of the things that we want to share.
Yeah, it was a 25-minute match, Lay. I'm looking at the timestamp right now. It felt longer and less exciting.
Yes. Okay, what does this say about Cody Rhodes in terms of a big match situation? Or is this more of a John Cena's fault? What do you think?
I think it's a very weird combination of everything. John Cena is not the wrestler he used to be, not the crowd worker he used to be. Cody Rhodes maybe wearing his babyface welcome a little bit too long, and the crowd trying to be too smart and not going along with Cody Rhodes. So it's all those things mixed together, plus a very awkward build, right? We talked about that already. The Rock not showing. Our expectations being way too high, we need to factor that in, Let's be real honest.
Okay.
All that add together, that's why we got a mid-stew.
And And because I'm comparing it with last year's main event, and while everyone remembers the portal scene, right?
Yeah.
I was actually one of the ones who really enjoyed
The match.
watching the match. I actually
Yes.
watched the match,
Yes.
and it got me engaged. You know, they were
Yes.
fighting outside, they were doing all
Yeah.
those finishes. Everything up until the main event, if it was, if it ended there with like just a normal finish, it would have been still a great match.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one, I just felt like people were just waiting for something to happen.
Because the match itself wasn't compelling, unfortunately, you know?
Yes, if they could have made us forget, that there might be shenanigans at the end.
Yes.
And there was such a great match that the reactions were crazy. Can you imagine this was in front of a European crowd? I'm sorry, I missed the European crowd already.
Yeah, no, that's 100% thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's true, right? And you can't say that it's because it's a stadium, because there were louder pops throughout the night. Bro, Dom got a louder pop.
Oh yeah, bro, Dom winning had the biggest pop of the night.
Yeah. So like shockingly,
Yeah.
but so you can't say that the crowd was like, drowned out by the acoustics, because they did pop. So it was the match lah. It was basically down to the match. And the crazy thing is, once again, John Cena can justify it by saying, see, I told you I was going to ruin wrestling. You're going to hate this shit.
Yeah, he ruined the wrestling by ruining the main event. Oh shit, he did it.
It's very meta, so I guess I can give them that, but don't do this too much because you don't want to drive away viewers.
Yeah, man. Oh, Muhammad Gaddafi is in the chat. Sup,
Yo.
bro? It has been a while. It has been a while.
Let's talk about
yeah.
the rest of this card then, shall we?
Let's do that. Before that, Alfred gave a very good comparison. This match feels like Triple H and Randy Orton from WrestleMania 25.
I don't remember that match. Jog my memory.
Basically, that's why people say it was a letdown, because that match came on the heels of the Undertaker and HBK match, which was in the mid card. It was so great, like match of the year, right?
Oh yeah.
That they thought that the main event was a complete letdown, lah. Like the build, everything was there, but then the actual match itself, nothing happened.
But in this case, there was no match that was so good that it overshadowed John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Like,
Yeah.
I know another comparison is the immortal moment, Bret Hart and Stone Cold was a way better match and not the main event of WrestleMania 13, right? Sid versus Undertaker was a stinker. Like, I didn't feel that for this night too.
I think John Cena and Cody, for the story and the consequences of the match, it makes sense for it to be the main event. I just think that they just didn't deliver.
Quite simply, the wrestling didn't deliver lah. So
The
the
wrestling.
pro wrestling, the sports entertainment didn't deliver. Okay, let's talk about the rest of the card. And CM Punk said that this match should have been the main event. And after watching this main event, maybe I agree, bro. Because look, I've said that I dislike the build because they made Io Sky look like a chump. And I said in my prediction, if Io didn't win, it would be a complete waste. So this is very much a case of trust the process, let Papa H cook, because the right person won. Io Sky won in an incredible match. Like, we knew these three were going to put on a banger, right? It was just, if anybody other than Io Sky won, it would have been a waste of time.
Yep. I mean, we already talked about this when we were previewing the match. Bianca Belair and Rhea should technically cancel each other out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And I think this match was about proving that Io shouldn't be underestimated. Because actually, no one was, like, the fans at least are not, like, putting down Io. You realize that?
I love that this Vegas crowd actually cheered for Io. Because Io is very weird, certain crowds don't cheer for her one. Like, Europeans love her.
Yeah.
But then Europeans will cheer for everything. They're the best crowds, right? But I was pleasantly surprised at her reaction in Vegas. Because we've seen PLEs where she comes out and is like, dead.
Do you see the shot where I think Io's family was in the crowd as well?
Oh no, I missed that.
Yeah, so apparently Io's family was in the crowd. I think when she celebrated her win, I think there was a bunch of Japanese people celebrating, and they say that it was a family. But the point I'm trying to make is, like, I think Io appeals to a wider fan base than most people would expect, right? People just assume, okay, her reactions on American soil is like, okay, then like, okay, she doesn't have a lot of fans. But she has been around the world, not just in Japan and Stardom, She has wrestled everywhere, and I think the fans respect her wrestling craft.
I think she's one of those people that can win you over by wrestling, not by story.
She's great.
I still think her promos are just cringe.
Yeah, I mean, promos is what it is.
Yeah, but we talked about this yesterday. Bianca Ripley did not need this win at all.
Yeah, agreed.
You needed to make Io by giving her the win here.
I think Rhea has had multiple WrestleMania moments already.
Yep.
Bianca has that story that she should go off to Jade and Naomi to do. So
Yes.
I agree. I think Io needed this win. And speaking of wrestling, bro, my favorite thing on this match was they say it was a double blockbuster, but what I thought it was remember when Io jumped from the top rope and like both of the women's backs were facing towards her.
Yeah,
Somehow she like need both of them and use them as like a support to kind of twist and did like a like a stunner situation.
Oh, right,
Do you
yeah,
remember
yeah,
this
yeah.
part? I thought that was fucking cool. I thought
Yeah.
like, bro, like this girl,
Yeah.
she's fearless, man. And I think that's what fans like about her wrestling style.
Kyrie saying faster comeback, all jacked up, and then feud with Io Sky. And then we got, because they worked together before, right?
Yeah. As
Let's
long
go.
as we have subtitles, and can
It's
you imagine
fine.
they just do the entire promo in Japanese and just
Yeah.
sub it for us Netflix.
They've done it before, and it would be this big anime, and then they can do the animations, right?
Oh, yeah, like
the weebs
Shinsuke.
will love it. The weebs will love it.
The weebs.
The weebs will absolutely love it. So Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, I think started the night off on a really good note.
Really
And,
hot. Yeah.
Okay, I still won't say that this should have been the main event. Like, I get where CM Punk is coming from, and even seeing Cena versus Rhodes
When did he say this?
on an interview,
okay.
they asked him about it, and he
Okay.
said this should be the main event. But yeah, it was a really good match, and I think Io finally getting her flowers was a good thing. Let's talk about Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest and Sin City Street Fight. Again, another good match. Like, okay, here's the thing, expectations. When you say Sin City Street Fight, like I go back to, do you remember the old WrestleManias or old Raws even where you had Stone Cold and Rock fighting on the streets? You had
Yeah,
Stone Cold
yeah.
and Booker T fighting through a supermarket, you know?
Yeah.
I was expecting that. This was just a glorified like hardcore match lah.
Yeah, essentially.
There was no...
It would have been iconic if they fought out in the streets. I think that would have been quite funny.
Like,
yeah.
we were talking about it on Discord. Like, imagine them at a casino and then somebody gets slammed into the jackpot machine and then the jackpot goes ding 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 ding. Really like a video game.
I think they got no funds to do a outside shoot lah. So you know what they should have done? They should have done a pre-recorded.
A cinematic. No lah. Okay.
No. When I say pre-recorded means it starts off at an outside area and then it leads back to the arena. But
Yes.
then they join live.
Correct. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what you mean. Like, or
Yeah.
at least started in a car park or something. Yeah. There was nothing street about this street fight.
Yeah, Damien needed his Slayer entrance lah. That's why.
Oh, that was a
That's
cool
why.
entrance. That was a
Yeah,
cool
that
entrance.
was pretty
Throw
dope.
a pack of cards in someone's face. Look, like I get where we're going with that. Like, but I also think that they shouldn't try to make it too hokey. As in, hashtag oh no, but AEW does this, right? Like, oh, this is a casino, whatever, and then got poker chips, got all these funny things.
No, but those are props that works in the sense of the context of the stage,
but
right?
sometimes they bring out ridiculous, like maple leaf bottle, maple syrup bottles because it's a Canadian thing or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but they will purposely do.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Stupid shit like that because the stuff that they bring out is not part of a ring, and that annoys me.
Yeah, I mean, if they try to create a gimmick just to pertain to the team,
Yeah.
I get the point.
That's
but
hokey.
but the point about this match being a Sin City street fight, like we have seen street fights in WWE WrestleMania matches, and they just essentially just use plunder, right?
Yeah.
But we needed like an iconic spot. Like, what was the iconic spot of this match, right? What was it like? Is it just
Going through the table or
Damien falling
Priest?
from the ropes and onto the table?
Or the claymore into the chair? It looked good. It was brutal AF. But yeah, nothing about this hardcore match stood out. It was just a hardcore match.
You know what? They should have bled. Both of them should have bled.
Yes.
Imagine.
Wait,
if
did
they
anybody bleed? Like,
on purpose?
No, on purpose. Tiffany did, but it was an accident. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether the chip tooth was it legit. The Tiffany's one. Tiffany looked like she like lost a tooth.
No, it wasn't a chip tooth. Apparently, it was just blood in her like
in
her
her
gums or
gums.
whatever. So like when the blood covers up your teeth, it looks like you got bogey.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, there wasn't any. So I think maybe that also could be an edict about like this being the first WrestleMania on Netflix. They are potentially appearing to a big crowd.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to stay safe on that lane. But I do agree that even if you do not want to make it too violent, just have a very iconic spot. Yeah.
But that said, I thought this was a very physical match, one of the more physical matches of the 2 nights, and deservedly so. They needed to, because, you feel like they needed to go out and prove themselves. Yeah. I scratched my head with the finish, though. Drew McIntyre doesn't need this win. Damien, and I'm sorry to say this, Div, Damien hasn't been doing jack all, I feel, in the past couple of weeks, and Damien needed a big victory here. Drew can lose, and then next week, bitch about it and get his heat back. That's his whole thing. Yeah. Right? Damien cannot afford this loss, and he did. So I feel bad for him.
I don't know where Damien goes after this, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think about it, like, Drew gets the win back maybe just to make up for all the shit that he has gone through this past year, right?
But
Fair enough.
To me, it doesn't elevate him anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it keeps him in the same level. It doesn't like push him up back to the seat.
Whereas if Damien won, I think he would have stepped up one level. Yeah. Drew winning does nothing for him. Drew losing wouldn't have like pushed his heat down either. So this kind of sucked for me.
Yeah. I guess my favorite moment from this match was just Drew live tweeting again. I think that that I hope that becomes a yearly tradition.
Right. So he freaking and he did post it too. Like, it legit got posted.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, those kind of small things, that's fun. But again, this is WrestleMania. You really need like, oh my god moments. And we talked about it yesterday. If only they put the triple threat tag team TLC match on WrestleMania as a card, we have gotten something, bro. We would have gotten something.
Dude, that is another head scratcher. We said this yesterday. We respect the New Day. We respect the War Raiders. That match was flat.
Shouldn't have been on the card.
And the only reason they would do that is if Big E was going to return, and he didn't. So it sucked.
Yeah, it sucked. So, but for this night too, the first 2 matches really gave me a lot of hope. Like, oh wow, okay, this was a good streak of matches, really.
Yes. That's why I said, like, if you took out the main event of night 2 and then swapped it with the main event of night 1, you have a really good one night card. The other night, forget it, throw it. Okay, so does maybe they continue this feud and Priest gets the win back?
Maybe. I feel that there's more legs to it. I guess we have a Drew defender here. K-Chan says, Drew already lost this feud with Roman and you still want him to lose to Damien.
But like I said, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine.
He unfortunately has fallen into the LA Knight category where he can lose. Like, it's not like he's losing every match every night. You know what I mean? Like,
I think
that's
he can
the problem.
talk his way out of getting his heat.
And that, unfortunately, is a negative in the booking sense, because you're like, oh, okay, well, then he can lose. He can lose. But again, him losing versus Damian Priest losing, I think Damian suffered more.
Yeah, agreed. And speaking of agreeing, you know what? I actually agree with Gaddafi's point, right? WWE spent actually a lot of time on the SmackDown tag team division, right? We actually thought like the tag team division was a good part of SmackDown. And it's quite deep, the roster there, right? And then to leave them out of WrestleMania just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this at length already yesterday, so we don't need to revisit it. It's just a weird, like, what are you guys doing? Street Profits were done very dirty here. Okay, let's move on. Dom versus Braun versus Finn versus Penta. I mean, I said this in my prediction, right? It's like Braun is moving up and away. Like, and he's fine. Penta's still a bit early for him to win the title, and it's fine as well. I think Braun and Penta might move on to a feud. It's all about the story of the Judgment Day here.
Did we just call it right down the middle? I think we got it.
We booked it
completely correct. Booked it exactly what we thought was going to happen,
and
right?
You know what? It's one of those cases of predictable, but that's fine. And judging by the response, that's exactly what the people wanted to see.
So we have a mega historic heel in Dom. getting the biggest babyface reaction of the night.
You know what? And I low-key love it, like the reason he was such a good heel was because he was viewed a bit like a Nepo baby, right? He comes in with his dad, he's like fresh baby face. It's like The Rock coming in and we're like, do you remember Rocky Maivia? Like this guy you're trying to shove down our throats, boo. And of course you put him in that love triangle with Rhea and Liv, and he was getting the biggest boost. Sometimes, and we all know this to be a fact, the people who get the biggest boost ultimately will get the biggest cheers.
He was just so fun to boo. That's why.
Yeah. And wrestling at the end of the day is about fun moments, right? So we love booing him. Now we love cheering for him.
Yeah. And in terms of like the layout of the match, exactly like how we thought, right? Braun Breaker doing Braun Breaker things,
yes.
Killing Carlito second time, which I absolutely love. You had Finn Balor and Dominic teasing a lot of dissension and eventually, having that breakdown in the relationship in the match. And I thought it was a good performance for Penta even. Like I thought Penta showed out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, of the brothers, he's the one getting more of the shine lah.
At this point.
For better or for worse, yeah.
How cool is it that the Lucha Bros in literally their first few months in WWE are doing like a lot of like significant things. Even Ray, even though it's by accident to substitute for Mysterio.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with their buying over of AAA as well, like I expect to see more of this Lucha representation, which is great. More distinct styles. Yeah. More variety in the offering, as it were.
I think Rey Mysterio's legacy, right, in WWE, right, would be this Trivia partnership.
Yes.
Even if he retires, right, he can be this ambassador to kind of bridge Trivia wrestlers to come to WWE.
Correct. Now, just wait for them to buy New Japan and then piang. Really, they're eating up the entire world, sial.
Okay, as much as that would be a super cool proposition, I hope not. I just don't want WWE to monopolize the whole industry again.
Sure.
Could be problematic.
But there are to that point too. Yeah, I agree. But there are also other companies like AAA is not the only.
The CMLL, which of course is still different, and so the CMLL still have that New Japan partnership. So what I'm just saying is, I guess as much as it's great that WWE is kind of like putting a lot of footholds in these territories. I do think that the best thing for the industry is to have multiple options and not be a monopoly. Yeah. Right.
Let's get back to this match too. Like there were a lot of callback spots, Carlito eating a spear again. It's like they keep coming up with different ways for Carlito to eat a spear. There was that freaking diving torpedo spear at the rampway. Then on I can't remember, was it Raw? Yeah. He got a double spear. He speared Carlito and Dom together.
Yeah. And the best part about this particular spear on this match was he was on top of I think he was attacking Penta, right? On top of the table.
Yeah.
And then you see his head swivel to the left like, oh no.
Oh shit. And then bang!
He's just getting speared like a meme at this point.
And that's the thing, right? And you know you're going to see the Carlito Braun Breaker match at some point. And then Carlito's like, oh no.
It probably ended up 5 seconds.
Yeah.
This was actually a very entertaining Fatal 4-Way match. I think because all four there were storyline threads for every four. Like there wasn't anyone that was just a random part of it, right?
Yep. And a satisfying conclusion.
Yeah. And I don't mind Braun Breaker dropping the belt. I feel he's on to bigger and better things, right?
Yeah. So like I said, the story here now is Finn Balor and Dom. Dom has a championship, Liv doesn't. So the question is, will Finn psycho Liv now, or will Dom kick Finn Balor? There are a lot of ways we can go with this, and we've speculated before Aleister Black seems like a very good fit in the Judgment Day.
I can't wait for Raw to see what Dom does with the title. I just feel like he might low-key be gonna be the best part of Raw in the next couple of months, man, as the champion.
I think so.
Know.
Well, okay. Here's the thing, though. I hope that they don't suddenly make him like a good guy. He still needs to be Dirty Dom, but people cheer him. It's like a Eddie Guerrero.
Yes.
We cheer you, but even though we know you're a scoundrel, a lovable scoundrel.
Yeah, and I want him to remember that. Well, there wasn't that one storyline with Eddie where I think he was trying to help China win the title, right? And now he was the one that pinned China by hugging her.
Yeah.
He actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
Oh my! I hope something similar happens with him and the title, man.
Irvin brings up a point. Like, have they paid off the Finn Balor room key thing with Liv yet?
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Hey, did they?
I don't know whether it's a Rooney situation which led to him bringing Liv Morgan into the fray with the Judgment Day. I thought that was what we talked about.
Well, I mean, they can always go back and retcon, use footage and imply something else. So it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, imagine, if Liv and Finn suddenly become a thing and they kick out Dom will be a massive babyface.
I think Dom is gonna be on the way there, bro. I think he'll have an AD run. We just need to understand his because I saw something on Complex on Instagram. I think they interviewed the wrestlers on the red carpet for Hall of Fame, and then they asked this damn funny question. He was saying which WWE superstar will you not let your daughter date? Everyone say Dominic Mysterio.
Oh no, that's hilarious. I love it.
And then the funny thing was, I think Karrion Kross was like, "No, Dirty Dom, I do not want him." And then Scarlett was like, "But he's okay, he just wants his chicken tenders." and then the interview was like, "Oh yeah, I think that's kind of cute. I think he got some charm." So the girls were kind of gossiping about Dom. Yeah. And then Karrion, you can literally see his eyes you see exactly.
This is why, Okay.
So the girls love the Dirty Dom.
Dirty Dom, yeah. I love this match. It might be my favorite match of the night, actually.
Oh, nice. Okay, great.
It's this or the women's three-way. Okay. Let's talk about the next match then. Randy Orton Open Challenge. I mean, okay, a lot of people are like, man, it kind of sucks, but 20-year anniversary of Randy Orton at WrestleMania, right?
Yep.
I feel like, they did the best with a shitty situation.
Yeah, they salvaged what was.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking from Randy's point of view, right? Okay, if I'm Randy Orton, of course, at this point in my career, I'm more of a giving person. I want to, put the shine on somebody else, right? If you think about it from his point of view, what better way? Not only am I putting a shine on one person, I'm actually putting over an entire company.
Yeah. Well, he also needs to shine somebody because he needed the win here. I feel like he was going to be booked to win here. And, thinking back on my predictions, I might have gotten it wrong in that, if Aleister Black were to debut here, re-debut here, he would have had to beat Randy. And I think that they didn't want to do that. So them bringing in somebody where if Randy Orton beats this guy, it's expected, but also it's cool to put a spotlight on this guy and his company, then I think this was the best of a shit situation. So Joe Hendry of all people.
Somehow it kind of fits the checklist of what we needed in his opponent.
Yeah, right? Exactly, right? It was a complete shock. I'll say that. Nobody was thinking Joe Hendry.
Yeah, nobody was. And it was amazing. And the pop was legit though. So I would say Dom and Joe Hendry, two of the biggest pops of the night.
Yeah. And the match lasted longer than I thought. I literally thought Joe Hendry would go in, turn around, do his smile, RKO pin, that's it.
That's exactly what happened, but that was the ending. Right?
Yeah. So it kind of happened that way. And Joe Hendry, I feel like he still has so much time to grow, So
agreed.
They weren't going to have him go in there and do a 10-minute match.
The crazy thing, somebody put out this stat, right? Joe Hendry is the only wrestler to have appeared in the same year in a Royal Rumble and a WrestleMania and not be part of WWE.
Right.
Yeah,
we are in this great era where they are willing to work with other companies if they think you are a viral sensation. They're like, come in, let's do a spot.
Yeah. But what do you think, right, of the fact that TNA and WWE are okay with letting their TNA World Champion essentially be squashed on WrestleMania?
I mean, I think the benefits outweigh the negatives. It's you're not getting squashed by a nobody. You're being squashed by Randy Orton, a legend, right?
Yeah. And Joe Hendry, in a way, it kind of fits with his character because his character is not that he's a goofy character, but I think he can kind of brush it off and you know what?
Yeah.
I will still believe. We still believe in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He kind of explain it away. But I do hope that that does not make people think like, oh, TNA champion is just like this level only, right? There are levels to it, but
Well, I
you know,
mean, let's call a spade here, you know.
Yeah.
Not too far from the truth. So
Yeah.
not
Oh.
much of a match, so we don't have to talk about it too much.
yeah. Wait, Trickster is here on the
What's
chat. What's
up?
up, bro? He says, I think Randy Orton versus John Henry was great. Yeah, it was. I think it was great for what it was.
Yeah, it did what it had to do given that situation. And it gave us, remember we talked about this on several WrestleMania reviews, is that what do you look for in a WrestleMania? A surprise return or a surprise? Like there were two returns, I guess, this year. Yeah. And Becky and this one.
Yeah. I mean,
surprises. And
that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, cool.
It did
shall
what
we
it was, lah. It did what it was, yeah.
Yeah. It was enough. It might not have been enough to save the main event, but it was enough of a surprise. Let's put it that way. All right, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. When I said 80%, this was the 20%, that I would have kept here. I think that AJ Styles, I love the guy. I think he's an incredible work rate guy. Every time he's had a WrestleMania match, it fails.
I'm curious, guys. Like,
Yeah.
how come AJ Styles looks like an amazing badass at Wrestle Kingdom fighting against Shinsuke Nakamura? Feels like a main eventer wrestler.
Yeah.
How come, I don't know, in TNA he has had banger matches. In WWE he has had great matches. But it's never on WrestleMania, right?
Like, yeah.
Like-
You always expect him to have a great match at WrestleMania, but it always never lives up to the expectation. Maybe the 1 year you can say that it's not the case is Undertaker versus AJ.
Maybe
the
two lah. Shane
pre-recorded
McMahon,
match.
Shane McMahon and
Yeah.
AJ was great. And last year he had an amazing match with Cody in Backlash, right?
Yeah, but not in. So maybe he's just not like you know. You got your A+ tier, A tier. I hate saying it, but maybe he's a really good, solid B+ player in the pecking order of WWE.
But that's the thing, right? Like, okay, when clearly this match didn't have a great build. It was
No,
just, I think, a bit put together. But we always thought like, never mind. At least AJ Styles and Logan Paul was delivering in the ring. Hot take here. I think both of them were coasting in this match.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. Like, there were points in this match I started drifting off. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You it didn't draw me in whatsoever. I started doing other things. I started like, hey, shit. I'm like, wait a minute. This is AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. What's going on?
Yeah, and you know Logan Paul, if nothing else, you could kind of almost guarantee that every match he would have like a viral moment or like
Yeah.
do something that would create buzz. He didn't do anything this year, right?
Maybe because of his opponent. You know, he's one of those guys. Like I don't know, man. Like he's like, okay, I think that ultimately, and don't get us wrong, like we freaking love AJ Styles. He's had so many great matches, so many great moments, but I'm just very curious, like you. I think we're both very curious as to why every time it comes to WrestleMania, he doesn't deliver.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know whether it's a combination of his opponents, just not the right story.
The builds, yeah.
The build. But I would agree. I would think the LA Knight match last year was quite a solid match because I thought the build was good. Maybe it's because he was invested in the match, right?
Maybe.
Maybe
Irvin
Logan
says-
Paul like nah.
Yeah, it's just a one-off, right? Irvin says, is it the hair? No lah, it's not
What's
the
the
hair.
hair?
lah.
What do you think about the hair?
He looked too much like a soccer mama. At least the bright side here is that he now goes into a program with Karrion Kross. You know, Karrion has been trying to whisper into his ear, come over to the dark side, blah blah blah, whatever.
Yeah,
Now
that was interesting though.
Yeah, so now at least Karrion gets a bit of a shine, and with somebody who can go in the ring, right? But
Interesting thing, quickly. Do you think that it's so interesting that this match, which features Logan Paul, who is technically the more well-known, famous person in this match, was just a vehicle to push the Karrion
AJ.
Kross and AJ Styles angle? Do you think it's so interesting?
I think it was what it was, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm actually a bit worried for it because traditionally, AJ's angles haven't been great. Karrion Kross's angles haven't been great. So you have two people who aren't, for whatever reason, compelling.
I think Karrion Kross has been more compelling in recent months, bro. Like this
Yeah.
shit steerer. He, I think I told you before. He kind of is reminds me of the Sean O'Hare character, the devil's advocate.
But okay, here's the thing, right? Like, why is it that Sean O'Hare character didn't work also? I don't think they have the subtlety to pull it off. Because ultimately, like, you know?
I think
Like, I don't
Karrion
know.
Cross can though. His character work is really, really good.
Okay, name another character that has done this and gotten success. Like a shit stirrer. Like Sami Zayn. No, but Sami Zayn was more of
No.
a goofy shit stirrer.
Let me give you a good callback.
Okay.
If you follow him in ECW, Raven.
Oh.
Raven
But-
used to do this all the time.
But my counter argument to that is that's ECW. It's not WWE level. What I'm trying to say is maybe this type of shtick works at a certain level, but at a big time level, in the main event of WWE level, it doesn't work because there's not enough subtlety to pull it off.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void were prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Well, I believe somebody like Roman has proven that you can do subtlety in a big setting. We just do not know whether Karrion Cross can do it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's really about giving him the opportunity. And you have to understand, right? Like when he went on the main roster, I thought there was a lot of big things happening for him. But then clearly they did not prioritize him. And then the Final Testament also wasn't prioritized.
Yeah.
So now I feel like it really depends on how much investment, the booking gives him. So that remains to be seen.
But once again, I think it was a bit of a good toilet break match, I guess, unfortunately, right?
You can give a couple
Avin
of
says,
shout-outs?
yes,
Yeah.
and I want to bring this up too because we were talking about the writing, right? They announced a new show on Netflix called Unreal. It's a reality show about the writer's room. Okay, I'm very curious, but also at the same time, I'm like, are they peeling the curtain way too much?
Are they like blowing up kayfabe with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they script the scripted show.
The fuck, bro. Low key, bro. This might be a show that we both would enjoy if you think about it.
No, okay, if they are very smart, if they are playing 4D chess, heck, if they're playing 5D chess, they can use this show to spawn angles. Imagine Karrion Cross coming in and trying to angle his way into an angle. You know what I mean?
I get you. That's 4D. Or they could use this show to actually scout potential scriptwriters for their shows. It's like tough enough, but for the scriptwriters in wrestling.
Yeah, no, but it's not a reality contest or anything. It's essentially putting cameras in the writing room where all the writers like your not Gerwit, sorry.
Basically how to see the behind the scenes of how they draft a wrestling show.
But this is definitely a show for us, the
Yep.
internet wrestling crowd, right? The
Yep.
quote unquote the smart marks. But at the same time, is again, are they giving away too much? Really?
Too much, yeah. I do
It's
not know.
I feel like it's a wait and see. I'm not going to be like the Jim Cornettes of the world where like, oh my god, they're doing too much. Like
I feel like this is a TKO thing where they are
Yeah.
like, let's peel the curtain so that we create intrigue even more for the wrestlers. Yeah.
If they are smart enough, they will work they will work this shoot. It's a work shoot show.
Okay, you know what? Think about it this way, bro. It's like Formula One Drive to Survive. I think
Yes.
that's what you're going for.
Yes, I agree. That's a freaking great example. I know a lot of people started watching Formula One because of that show. Because they went. But okay, see, that's the thing, right? Ultimately, Formula One is a quote unquote real competitive sport. WWE is still a scripted show, entertainment.
I think they're trying to get ahead of the fans who are like, okay, I want to watch wrestling. I'm curious about wrestling, but I know it's fake. So like, how can we bridge that gap? Okay, let's create another show where we talk about the behind the scenes so that they get excited about watching the wrestling show, knowing what happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's like covering both bases like that.
And also, how up to date is it? Because you have to, like, okay, I'll give you a very good example. Remember, I used to love watching WWE Divas.
Of course.
And because they had all the backstage stuff, right? They broke kayfabe in that way. The one issue was it was several months late, as in the issues and angles that they were talking about didn't fit with what was going on because it had already like passed for months. So can you imagine this show about the writer's room, but they're all talking about storylines from half a year ago?
It's not that it's a bad thing though. I think it's like a retrospective lah. Like
so it becomes a documentary lah about all these angles that we love lah.
Yeah, like how it worked, like up to date. I don't think they can manage doing that at the same time, right?
So there you go. They can't make this a scripted shoot anymore. They can't make this a work shoot. It's basically a WWE documentary.
Essentially, that's what a lot of sports teams does as well. Like for example, they cover the behind the scenes of this past season. You know what they did. So, I don't think the concept is bad. I think it will be quite interesting, bro.
You know what they're doing? They're controlling the narrative. Like F your dirt sheets coming out with all your stories. Now this is literally we're giving you the access to the back room.
We leak our own ideas. Okay, let me give a few more shout outs here. We got Mighty listening to this while stuck in Vietnam. Enjoyed Mania, bro. Were you wrestling? Were you guys wrestling over there? Shout out to you, bro. Trickster has a very interesting take. To him, this year's Mania might be one of the better Manias from start to finish in recent history.
Wow, it's not better than Night 2 last year.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that much.
I think that's a minority take, bro. But it is subjective. So
again, I think a lot lives and dies on the main event and the finish. And I think our big gripe with it was both nights finish on a non-satisfactory ending.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Exactly. I agree.
Sorry. Let's move on to the next. Did you want to add something before we move on to the next match?
Nah, it's okay. Let's continue, bro.
Okay, let's talk about Lyra, Valkyria, and mystery tag team partner versus Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. I think we all called it lah.
Yes,
we saw glimpses of Becky Lynch, and there were too many links already. They're both Irish lasses. They had an entire program on NXT, right?
Yeah, and Becky purposely saying that she's retired from wrestling. Yep. It was definitely a red herring. It was, So,
So we got Becky Lynch showing up. Lyra Valkyria once again. Woo! Dropping feathers everywhere was there.
Bro,
funny.
She was shedding feathers. I was like, what's going on?
She goes into turnbuckle, one feather drop out. She goes onto the mat, another feather drop out.
I think it wasn't a wise move to have the feathers to the hair thing.
I thought her wings looked cool. You know what would have been cooler? If they lowered her from the VIP box with the wings.
Oh, yeah.
At least give her some cool visual intro.
Bro, what do you think of that seating arrangement? The fact that they had the fans in the entrance stage. What's that about?
So the especially the area on top, right? That's the VIP booth. Apparently, was it 10 or 100,000 per ticket? So it looks like a corporate box, lah. Basically, no single person would pay that much for a ticket, right? It looks like a corporate box.
It's essentially you are not even seeing the entrances because you're above the entrances.
You can look down, lah. You can see everybody's ball spot, lah.
But you know what I mean? You're missing the grand.
But people there are not quote unquote diehard fans. They are people who got a free ticket because they are friends and VIPs and stuff like that.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it was an interesting seating arrangement, I would say. But maybe this was their way of, every time they build up a WrestleMania stage, right? They always have to cordon off one side or one end of a stadium.
Yeah.
So maybe this was their way of you know what? We're still going to get some seats.
Yep.
They can still take over this space.
Okay, let me give you an example because I've been to the VIP area in F1, for example. So F1 concerts, right?
Nice, okay.
The VIP area is further away, but less obstruction.
You can see everything.
Yeah, and it's away from the common folk.
Right.
But that's the point.
The normies.
The normies. That's the point. Why Skybox, for example, if you think about Skyboxes, they are in a glass room that's right on top. Technically, it's a shit seat because you can't see the action, right? You're not ringside. But it's for comfort. It's to separate you from the masses. That's the whole idea of a VIP box. So
Yeah, I
in
get
terms
it.
of a VIP box, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's nothing that we will ever have to worry about unless we start working for one of these companies that work with the WWE.
Gotcha. Because the thing is, like, I would say my favorite seat watching wrestling, right, has always not been on the floor. Because when you're on the floor, people stand up, people celebrate, you're like, I can't see shit, right?
yeah.
It's always like that one level right behind and it's like slightly raised. So you can still have a great vantage point of the ring, but like you're not like in the mosh pit of the fans, right?
Correct.
It's either you're there or you're front row. Don't waste
Yeah.
time in the floor in the middle there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Paying that much some more.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a fun match. It was a fine match as well.
I think Becky returning caused the match to be more interesting. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Liv and Raquel losing the titles though.
Which was quite very recent, like how many months only?
Yeah, I thought this was surprising. Okay, so originally I thought Bailey was going to turn, or they're going to lose, and then that's the storyline. But now you have them winning the titles.
Yeah.
So okay, I guess you could then be like, okay, how did Bailey get taken out? I must have missed it on SmackDown. Was she beaten up backstage or something?
I did not see it, so I heard it from the news.
Somebody in chat, please let us know how they quote unquote, because the rumors are that this is a work, it's not a shoot injury or anything like that, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
So if let's say Bailey was taken out backstage, then you could argue that maybe you get Becky Lynch as a suspect lah. Then she was the one who did it. Oh my god, it's the whole Naomi thing all over again.
Yeah, nah, it's a repeat, bro. I know there's got to be a reason. If it's an injury, then I think it makes more sense. This being a work would not have made sense because then what's the point of having Bailey there in the first place, right?
To be taken out by Becky Lynch, or? And then now you have a conflict, because now Lyra and Becky are tag champs, but Becky did this underhanded thing.
No, I don't think so. Because what's the point of having a gauntlet match? If you know what I mean, like everything felt too last minute to plan it out in that way. Like for them, I think they actually threw together Bailey and this Lyra just for the sake of having a tag team contenders.
Irvin says must be Naomi, cannot help herself. She sees somebody standing there, must attack, bro. She only throw people onto cars lah.
She just look at Bailey. She's like, proceed with caution.
And then beat her up.
Actually, I really love her catchphrase, bro. It's a pretty cool catchphrase.
So wait. If this were a last minute thrown together thing, then what was the original idea? Lyra and Bailey winning and beating Liv and Raquel?
I think the whole point was to make Lyra double champ. Lyra 2 belts. That's what he wanted to do.
So I don't know. And it feels like a wasted. I don't want to say a wasted return. You know what I mean? I think this was planned. I don't think this was a last minute. Hey, Becky, you're here. Okay, you go out and wrestle. It kind of feels like a wasted return then if it was a last minute return.
I get what you mean, because at least like if you want to replace last minute, you have like your existing superstars like your Rey Fenix and all that, right?
Yeah, so you don't you don't ruin a possible big return, that you can promote, right?
How about this? Put it this way. How about they actually plan out the match with Bailey, but then they got word that Becky Lynch is available to return. Like she was a bit unsure at that point in time, or maybe that she had other commitments, suddenly opened up and she was like, hey, you want me to do a spot at WrestleMania? I'm available. Then they'll use that.
Bro, this is the type of stuff that's going to be on that writer's room show, and we're going to eat that shit up, bro.
Just do a writer's room episode on this WrestleMania. I want to understand what the fuck The Rock, Cody Rhodes, John Cena all the way.
Yeah.
Why they did what they did. So, yeah.
Okay, I see the potential in that show and how it's going to be appealing to all of us. So yes, very much so. But them winning here, great. I think that they really need to push Lyra. My bias for Lyra aside.
Man, you know what? If there was someone they should have brought back, I mean, this is just pure biasness as well. Fuck lah, my Alexa Bliss. Why?
Oh, your Alexa Bliss, not my Alexa Bliss, man.
Oh, are we all claiming her now? What's this?
Muhammad Zarfan, what's up? He says, "Can I say Lyra looks like a KFC mascot with the wing, the chicken?"
And I love his previous live. I think Bailey malas means lazy. Lazy tonight.
No, that one Popeye's chicken lah. Or Jollibee. I don't know, man. See, everything up to that point, I felt good about. Even Logan Paul, AJ Styles was kind of bleh.
It's like the come down.
It's a break. And then you had the main event. And it you know what I mean?
I'm curious to probably like check out other podcasters and reviewers' opinions
Yeah.
of this match, of this show, like Santi Zep, Good Mic Work.
I don't
all
care.
our
We are the
usuals.
only voices we give a shit about.
Right.
No,
in this,
I'm interested. I'm interested. Yeah.
in this side of the world, you guys should care about our voices the most. But I think we need to get some senses around the internet to understand what people are thinking about this. But Jerry, on our end, I think we were clearly disappointed with the
Bro, I'm looking at the comments on YouTube and it's like 60% like, oh, boo, L, WrestleMania, worst WrestleMania, main event suck. Then again, it's YouTube and the commenters are mostly toxic, so I get it. You know, it shouldn't be
that's
a
the
barometer.
thing, right?
Yeah.
If the first few matches or the most of the matches in WrestleMania suck, but then like the last three was amazing, right? People would have said, "Wow, this was a great match,
Correct.
great WrestleMania."
Like it's
really-
main event
yeah.
recency bias. We talked about it, right? You can't escape it. People will really just remember what you left them feeling. The last thing, you know, and the biggest thing, the most important thing. And again, it left us feeling like, yes, we will all watch Raw to see what the heck, like how will John Cena ruin wrestling, blah, blah, blah. We will. But it's just how much can you string us along, like how much goodwill. You've built up the goodwill, now it just took a hit. Let's see, and we hope that you'll give us something better down the line.
I mean, so I'm curious. I'm gonna watch the post show. So I just want to know what Triple H said, or like, you know, I don't know whether he will justify it, because I know people. He did talk about something about, like, you know, recently on an episode, on an interview, saying that sometimes he wish like fans can just be fans and like not critics and try to see it for what it was. Very interesting way of looking at it. I get his point of view. Sometimes we overanalyze things to the point that we ruin our own enjoyment of the show. If you really look at it as a fan, like I'm watching a movie, right? And I know that this is actually like the midpoint of the show, where like, fuck lah, the you know, the bad guy won. What's gonna happen next, right? Like, if you look at it that way, maybe we can give some leeway. But I think the problem is because it ends here. You know, it's like an episode cliffhanger. You're like, what the fuck is this ending?
Maybe,
you know,
maybe we just need to get over the whole WrestleMania is the end of the season. And if we maybe think about it in that way, we can swallow this a little bit better, you know? But night one really, the undercard of night one really had a lot of, to me, like, I don't want to say stinkers, but like matches that did not deliver, right?
Triple H said a good thing as well. Triple H said that the difference between this WrestleMania and previous WrestleMania, the road to, is that it started way earlier and it ended way later. When he said it started way earlier, because even before Royal Rumble, they had Netflix, first Netflix of the year, right?
Yeah.
So they had to start the build all the way from Netflix until this 2-3 weeks later of WrestleMania, which is like end April. So I think they could be a situation where maybe they stretch themselves too thin. Maybe they had to, you know, fulfill too many things that, you know, things were not balanced or tightly focused, perhaps.
Sure. We'll wait and see. Raw will be very interesting to say the least. And next week we're actually taking a break. We're taking a couple of weeks break. I will be in Seoul. I don't know how I'm gonna catch up on my Raw. Does Korean Netflix have Raw? I assume it would.
I think they
it's
would.
international, right?
Yeah, I think it would. You should be okay in terms of watching the wrestling. Wait, before we talk about it, can we wrap it up by asking our listeners here? Can you guys share with us your overall? Because yesterday we did a rating for night one, but I think let's share your overall rating of both night one and night two combined.
Oh, combine. You don't want.
combine.
Oh, no. You know what? Give us night one, night two, and then combine. How about that?
So three numbers.
Three numbers. Can you all can do it one? So okay,
come 4D. Let's go.
4D, you need 4 numbers. What's the fourth number? Stand and deliver. Actually, stand and deliver, I would give a solid 8, bro.
Okay. So Stanley was the best match card of the whole weekend.
It's happened before, though. If you think about the years prior, especially Black and Gold NXT, they've delivered as well, right? And in this case, I think as a pack, and look, we all have to be honest. When I grade NXT or when I watch NXT, my expectations are lower. Right? Because that's the quote-unquote developmental. They are not supposed to be the main event stars. But
Fair enough.
NXT, right? The crowd is so diehard NXT. They are so ride or die. It elevates the product because every time somebody does something, the reactions are always there. It's oh, or ooh, or cheer, or boo, right? It's always there, you know?
Okay.
So
we
Gaddafi
got numbers
says
coming in.
8 + 8 for night one. Wow. Okay.
Ooh. Okay, why do you think what do you enjoy about night one more? I mean, I'm sure there's main event lah.
That's main event bias right there. Because the most, I would say 50% of night one's card was not great. Botchamania. But okay, that's fair. Haley also says 867. Wow.
Okay. So I mean, we have differing opinions here.
Lysander says 7, 8, overall 8. Wow. All very generous, huh? Okay.
I'll start and I'll give mine, right? Yesterday I said that my night one was 6.5. Was it? I believe it was 6.5.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Damn it. Okay,
Zarfan
you know what?
says, I have to sell my soul. Get it? Soul? Because I'll be in Seoul, Korea. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Good one. Okay, you know what? I'll try to be more objective and grade the overall of night 2, right? I would say overall of night 2 without, I would say it would probably have actually been 7.5.
Night 2. So,
yeah, night 2 would have been 7.5 because everything leading up to the main event I thought was really good.
Yeah. Night 1,
Night 1 was 6.5.
Okay, 6.5, 7.5. Okay, fair.
Yeah, so basically, essentially, it was a 14 divided by 2, 7 overall out of 10.
No, bro. You cannot do actual math. You have to weigh. There are pros and cons. Like night 2, you have higher expectation one.
So you want me to do
necessary.
You want me to do breaker math, lah? That's what it is. You want me to do
Yes,
Steiner math?
I want some Steiner breaker math, bro. Not
I-
real math. What the fuck?
I haven't added Kurt Angle into the equation yet, bro. That's why.
And then you divide by the number of people. And then you multiply. Okay, anyway.
Because we know The Rock is not going to show up.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah. But Travis Scott got his just reward, so you gotta give plus 0.25. I would give Stand and Deliver an 8, like I said. Like I really enjoyed Stand and Deliver for what it is at the level that they are. They did a lot of very exciting things. In fact, we were talking about there was no ladder match, blah, 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 right? Like the ladder match was awesome. The finish was awesome. I don't know if you saw the clip.
The ladder match was the one where Sol Ruka won, right?
Yes, she did the soul snatcher off the ladder, then she did like a double soul snatcher. Like when I watch Stand and Deliver, I feel like, oh my God, the future is so bright for the WWE. These talents are so strong.
Somebody say Shawn Michael really knows how to choose the female talent. Huh?
I'm just a sexy boy. Sexy boy. He knows what's up lah. But yeah, Stand and Deliver 8. Night 1, I said 6. But like I said, like yesterday I was freaking tired, so it might be a little bit.
Do you want to retcon that now?
I rewatched actually. I was like very free yesterday in terms of I was sitting waiting at the vet's office. So I had a lot of time, right? You know what? I'll give it a 7 because of the main event.
You bumped it up, okay?
I bumped it up because of the main event. The rest of it was kind of like meh, though, right? Night 2, wow. Night 2,
But just by that grade, right? Technically, you have to give night 2 higher because more of the matches was better, right?
But there's main event bias.
The main event brings it down, okay?
Like, it's a thing.
It's a thing, yeah.
The finish, it's like you could. Oh my God!
You know what it is?
Wait. Where are the kids? The kids, please put your finger in your ear
wait.
now.
Before you say it, it's like the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul thing, right?
Oh, the build and wait.
Yeah, they fight? Didn't Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul on Netflix like last year?
Yeah. You mean the fights before it was better than the main event, lah?
Yeah, everyone loved the women's boxing. Everyone was building up the match, and then the match was like meh. Right? Remember?
Okay, sure. That's an analogy. I was going to say a very sexual analogy, but I think I found a different. I found a different one. Don't worry.
Tell me the sexual one as well.
No,
Go for it.
It's
what, bro? Tell
there
me.
Might be kids. There might be kids.
I don't think anyone here is below 15, right? Okay, everyone looks of age. Okay, carry on.
It's like you have the best Oh, cannot. I have a reputation to maintain, bro. Cannot. Okay.
Mr. Young is a publicly well-known DJ.
No.
Singapore just saying.
Okay, it's like you have you go for like a multiple course meal, right? And the starter
Okay.
was very good, right? And then the mains were very good, the meat and potatoes, everything. And then you get the dessert. Inside got one shit. You only remember that.
So basically the foreplay damn good lah. Shook already, the kissing all shook already. And then when the time come, alamak, this guy. Bleh.
I didn't say anything.
I'm your anger translator. I'm your sexual translator, bro.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it is what it is.
So essentially, the main event flopped in more ways than one, lah. If you know what I mean.
Yes, yeah,
Yes,
it
okay.
went limp. The main.
What? When limp?
Yeah,
You're talking about limp. You're talking about Limp Bizkit, right?
Yeah, rolling. All right. So
Alright, got you.
You know what? Night 2, I give a 7. Also, oh my god.
So after all that, it's just 7 and 7.
Because I feel like the matches leading up to the main event got me excited.
So they cancel each other out.
They cancel each other out. Okay. Like I said, if we took night 1's main event and put it on night 2, that would have been easy like 9. Or 8.5, you know what I mean?
Okay.
But because of what it is, they balanced it out. So 7-7, so 8-7-7. There you go. That's my
So I think generally most of the people here gave overall 7 for like overall 7, some 8s. Lysander is very, very, very generous with the 8.
It's definitely a come down from 40 from last year. We can all agree. And we can all agree that expectations were set way too high.
Yeah. Irvin gave Stand and Deliver 8.5. Ooh, somebody is in agreement with you.
Bro, go and watch Stand and Deliver. It's definitely worth watching.
I will. Zarfan gave night 1 and night 2 both 7. Irvin says our Steiner match failed. Sir who say night 1 7, night 2 6. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Gaddafi says probably more talent coming to WWE from AEW like Mariah May. I heard about this Mariah May news as well.
Again, it's another case of like, she wants to leave. So what does Tony Khan do? Instead of having her job or like, push other talent, he just quietly hides her. That's why we haven't seen much of or heard much of Mariah. It's like same with Alistair, same with Miro.
It's Booker 101, I realized, right? I realized that's what WWE does as well, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it makes sense. If you're on the way out, just do a couple of jobs, make your other talent elevated. Because you are no longer going to be there. Like,
yeah,
but Tony is like, oh, you want to leave? I'm hurt, so I don't talk to you anymore.
Hey,
oh no.
I know this is a couple of matches back, but who's Jeff? The AJ Styles and Logan Paul match. There was a Jeff on the. Remember he wanted to attack.
It's like Logan Paul's guy. I think he was involved in some of other Logan Paul's matches as well. I don't know why.
I do not know. No, because I honestly thought they're gonna have a very well-known YouTuber or like streamer to be his guy, but this is some Jeff. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, So I agree with you. I think this year was a come down from last year. Can't compare. I think last year was way better. But also I feel like
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
okay, bias me. This year overall 2025 has been better in the sense that I enjoy my wrestling more this year because of maybe Netflix.
Yes.
Maybe because of Netflix accessibility. That is a game changer there.
Yes. This year I feel like we are seeing the fruits of all the things that they set up for this big Netflix debut, right?
Yep.
Last year was the build up and we could see the gears turning, and now we're enjoying the fruits of that labor, of Triple H's labor.
Usually, right, you guys are long-time wrestling fans. You all know there will be the fun road to WrestleMania. There's a big payoff, and then there will be like a very down period, very boring period, and then it will pick up again SummerSlam, all that kind of stuff. But because of Netflix and because of us, WWE trying to appeal to multiple audiences and global audiences, I feel we are going to be spoiled as wrestling fans throughout the year. So here's my way of like being hopeful, right? I think it's fine having a WrestleMania that probably didn't deliver as much as you would think.
Yeah.
if every single week or every single few weeks or months we always have great content throughout the year.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Like, we now, I think, are in an era where we have to quote unquote abandon the idea that WrestleMania is the pinnacle. It is one of the road of, yes, it's one of the biggest nights, but not necessarily from a storyline perspective, is it the end. It's one of the nights, one of the ends. So, we could have a really cool reveal next week in this Seth Rollins, CM Punk, Roman Reigns thing with Paul Heyman, right?
Yep.
Or John Cena and his new reign of terror, as it were. It might resolve in, what's the last few pay-per-views of the year?
Oh, so we have Survivor Series, but I believe they're gonna do a PLE specifically for John Cena in his hometown in West Newbury.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I heard that they're gonna have like a final pay-per-view just
What are they
for
gonna
him,
call
or like
it?
special event. You can't see me. I don't know.
Ruthless aggression. Okay, guys, if they would, wow. Last time they got DX in your house, they got
Yeah, I feel it's something similar.
Austin in your house. Okay, chat. One last question. If you could name a pay-per-view or a PLE and name it after John Cena, what will it be called? Bro, I go first, huh?
Go for it.
The Ruthless Aggression PLE.
I think Ruthless Edition is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I would say, you can see me.
you
Or
can't
it
see
could
me?
be, it can be Saturday night's main event. You can see me or something like that. Like
Oh.
it could end as a
Wait.
SME. I don't know.
His last match cannot be on a Saturday night's main event.
No, so I know it's a standalone PLE. I just don't know what its name. It could be using an existing title or franchise. We do not know.
The last time. How about the last ride?
The last time is now.
Great Balls of Fire. Do you remember? Do you remember that?
Oh no! Sorry, I saw Sir Who's one. I started laughing. Remember this joke? My name is Jeff.
My name Jeff. Bro, Channing Tatum somehow has two memes of him talking.
Yeah.
I'm about to make a name for myself, and my name is Jeff.
Gambit.
Ball spot. Stop it lah. Ball spot.
The great balls of fire, but balding. Okay, you know what? I think it'll be fun. So that's where I think most likely he will have his retirement match where he will drop the title, perhaps. So yeah, we have a year. So we have what? Now it's April, right? You guys have 8 more months to enjoy John Cena. You guys can get pregnant in this time and have a baby by the time John Cena retires.
Yes. Well, how are we going to enjoy wrestling if he is going to ruin wrestling? Jang. We'll have to see how he ruins wrestling.
Gaddafi says the Cenabration. It's pushing. I think you're trying to force it.
A little bit forced, yes. Just a little bit.
A bit. If Cena lose, we riot, bro. He losing already lah. Last match, don't need to riot lah. It's gone already.
Can you imagine he does all these things, talk about like ruining wrestling, right? And then people cheer him. Can you imagine if the crowd just refuses to boo him?
No. Speaking of El Grande Americano, sorry, bro. I wanted to just bring up. I think I bumped out the night one. You know why? Because I rewatched the
promo.
Fucking hilarious,
no, bro. That promo, I swear, I've seen clips of it. I will rewatch clips of it because it's so hilarious.
Bro, the dub of it, right? But no more. And then he actually made the expression like he really saying it.
The funny thing is that it was probably Chad's script. Because you see the mouth, he looks like he's speaking English. But then they dub over the English with a Spanish-sounding English. It's damn cock, and I love it.
Okay, my prediction for this year, we need El Grande Americano to appear at Triple A just one time.
Bro, no, we say already, bro. El Grande Americano, Triple A champion.
Mega champ.
Bring the title to Raw, give it shine, bring it to some PLE.
Beat Vikingo, bro.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Oh,
do it.
Shit.
Of course, he as a heel lah. That's the whole point, right? To generate interest in AAA.
I heard that Mexican fans are pretty rowdy and like crazy, right?
Bro,
I think he might have to survive a riot, like legit riot, if he wins the title.
And then get security guards to like get him out of there, that kind of thing. That's what wrestling is at the core, right?
Especially if the announcer says from the Gulf of America in Mexico.
Okay, hold on. They've backtracked on that already. Apparently, people were offended.
Yes, I heard. So they changed, right?
But at WrestleMania, the Alicia Taylor said Gulf of America, and then the commentators made a comment. I don't know if you noticed this.
Yeah, I heard it. So they
were like, she didn't get the memo because they're not supposed to say Gulf of America anymore because people got upset. Most likely white people, to be fair. Like they get upset for other people for whatever reason.
I mean,
it's a real thing. You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying.
Nothing to say about it. Yeah. But that bro. That's what I said. They're gonna have Worlds Collide. They're gonna have
Yeah.
their Forbidden Door, I guess, with Triple R. They're gonna have. Remember, they're gonna have a PLE in India. That's gonna happen. They already
Ooh,
mentioned it.
Bro, are they going to bring back Jindal Mahal?
I was thinking somebody larger, bro.
Oh, the Great Kali?
Great Kali is there, bro. He's gonna be there for sure. Yeah. Have they done anything in Japan or plan to do anything in Japan? Okay, whatever it is, I want to do a wrestling TLE visit. I do not know Perth is it going to be the most obvious one, which has happened before, or somebody else. But yeah, can't wait.
By the way, Irvin says his finisher, El Grande's finisher, should be the El Tarif. Well, I really lean into it, bro.
You guys.
El
don't, guys.
Tarifo.
I mean,
how
it
do you
just
say
reflects,
tariff
like-
in Spanish?
Terrific.
In Espanol.
Terrific.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna...
Nah, don't Google translate that shit. Come on, it's not worth your time. Okay, guys. I think we should
Arancel.
wrap up.
Arancel.
No, it just no.
El Arancel.
It just doesn't work, my bro. I brother, you tried. You have failed.
Okay, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out. Post WrestleMania on a Monday afternoon is lunchtime. I know some of you probably having lunch already. Maybe you all head off for lunch already. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yep. Thank you for hanging out with us these last 2 days. Thank you for hanging out with us on the Discord. Thank you for being there for us throughout this last 8 years.
Yeah,
It's been
man.
crazy, and wrestling's at a good spot. Bro, would you have imagined in 2018 when you and I were talking about doing a podcast,
Yeah.
whether there will be anyone who gives a shit
You're
about
right.
the content that we
I
did?
know, right?
The fact is, all the way now, I mean, it's amazing, bro.
And we love where wrestling is at this point too. So, more good things to come. That's it. We're going to take a bit of a break. Like I said, I will be in Seoul for the next couple of weeks. Then I'll be in Bali after that. But
So
as
I-
always, I will be dropping by the Discord to say hi lah. So
For sure. So we will take most of May off. I would say maybe 2-3 weeks of May. But don't fret. There's a lot of great local wrestling that's happening this month. So if you guys want to get your fix of local wrestling, please check out the upcoming Grapple Max. They're having a show this weekend. There's SPW is coming out with a show. They're gonna have Zack Sabre Jr.
ooh,
That's gonna be big in May as well. And of course, I heard Grapple Max just announced Fight Club, and over the weekend, Ring of Rebirth also had a show.
Oh, is it?
On Sunday night? Yeah. So it's not just popping in the global sense for WWE and pro wrestling and EW and all that, but also here locally. So please, if you love wrestling and you want to support local wrestlers, go to a show, go check out, buy some merch, buy a ticket over there. So I will try to make some of the shows. I will be doing content. So while our Mr. Young is away on holiday, you can expect some content on Kick to the Guts social media. So follow us there. So support us on Patreon as well.
absolutely. And once again, happy WrestleMania weekend. Everybody go get some rest. Maybe do a bit of a wrestling detox. I know it's hard with Raw coming up, but yeah.
Anything on the Discord, guys. Okay, Discord.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Everything will be there with the reaction, stuff like that. Okay, everyone have a great week ahead. It's Mr. Young.
And it's for in the building. Take care. John Cena.
Let's go. Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.